Coming up on ATV News.
This man was up a cherry picker when his truck caught fire. Find out how he escaped.
'Tis the season for protesting, and Logan's no exception. We'll show you what this group was angry about.
Logan's winter parking restrictions changed. We'll tell you where you'll have to park now.
It was supposed to snow today, but where is it? I'll tell you where, in weather.
They did so well in regionals, they're headed to nationals. I'll show you what sport these Aggies are from.
All that and more, this is ATV News. Oh, he's getting into his bucket. Oh my gosh.
During our show, a man was trapped in a bucket 30 feet in the air. Welcome to ATV News. I'm Claire King.
And I'm Abby Lewis. A power line worker was replacing a pole when a transformer exploded.
Oh, he's getting into his bucket.
Oh my gosh. Cell phone video shows one worker pulling another to safety after a transformer explosion.
Our goal, and everybody's goal, was to get him out of there.
All I could think about was getting to the bottom of the bucket and hoping the fire went away as soon as possible.
They were replacing a power pole near a construction site. As he was closing the switches to the transformer, it exploded and rained flaming oil on everything below.
All the oil and the hot oil and everything that was ignited landed right in the bed of the truck. And it lit the whole inside of the truck. Well, the controls are in that area.
We're taught to stop, drop, and roll when there's a fire. But what do you do when you're 40 feet in the air?
It exploded and I just dropped to the ground, you know, to the bucket right there.
We got the extinguishers, put it on there, but oil is really resilient. It didn't even back down a little. And Brett, he was yelling down to come get him in the other truck. We were lucky we had this other bigger truck set up next to it.
Yeah, on a job this small, it's not typical that we would have two bucket trucks on site. And I honestly don't know why we had two that day.
But for some reason, they did. And after seeing the damage, those involved are calling it a blessing.
But the outcome couldn't have been any better. No one got hurt. So I feel very blessed.
The damage costs nearly $200,000. Everyone involved says they're just happy it wasn't worse.
A fire in Trenton burned a barn to the ground as firefighters fought to keep it from spreading. Last Wednesday morning, a fire raged in Trenton. Firefighters doused it from above, but not before it charred this warehouse. They fought the fire for more than 2 hours before they pulled the tin away from the structure of the building to keep the flames out.
It's kind of tough getting to the rest of the fire, and that's what we're doing right now. We've brought a track hoe in to pull the tin away from the building so we can get in and finish putting the fire out.
Rescue crews treated the property owner for minor burns.
The Dakota Access Pipeline may be in another state, but even here in Logan, some people aren't happy about it. These people demonstrated in downtown Logan to protest the pipeline, but there was a reason they chose that location. It's right underneath the Wells Fargo sign. Protest organizers say Wells Fargo invested $500 million into the pipeline. Part of their protest was to convince people to cancel their Wells Fargo accounts.
Wells Fargo is the third largest financial backer of the pipeline, and we want to speak with our voices, our signs, as well as our dollar, that we don't agree with it.
Even though it was a small group of protesters, there were plenty of people to see it and show their support.
A lot of cars have driven by and honked and waved and shown that they are with us. Exactly, there is some support, yes.
For more info about the Dakota Access Pipeline, check out our Facebook page.
Have you seen this man? Police say he may have lewd photos of you. They released the surveillance video on their Facebook page last week. Cache Valley Mall employees reported they saw this man using his phone to record girls in the dressing room on September 21st. Utah State Police say the same man is wanted for a similar case on campus. In August, cashier's office employees reported this man standing unusually close to a woman. When an employee asked if he could help the man, he said no and ran off. Police say that they have video of the man with his right foot between the legs of a woman wearing a dress. They say they don't know if the man had a camera, but this dark spot on his right toe may be one. The suspect is described as white, 20 years old, 6 feet tall, and 180 pounds. Since this is a common description of a lot of students, police want your help.
We've got it out to the public. We're hoping somebody recognizes him. Give us a call and we can meet with this individual and speak with him.
If you recognize the man, call the number below and leave a message with his name.
You might be one of millions of Americans who are unwilling to accept Donald Trump as president-elect. Across the country, dozens of protests have erupted, and some turn into riots. Anti-Trump protesters are rallying throughout the nation, wanting their voices to be heard. Some are chanting, but others are more violent. They're smashing windshields, vandalizing public property, and setting fire to the American flag. Police have arrested hundreds of rioters since last Tuesday. President Obama urges protesters to exercise their freedom of speech non-violently.
When we come back, Logan's winter parking restrictions changed. We'll tell you where you'll have to park now.
This app allows you to filter TV shows and movies, and you may not be able to use it soon. We'll tell you why coming up.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. Living seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall. Book can make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Welcome back. Logan City started new overnight winter parking restrictions. They just went into effect even though there's no snow on the ground. These cars can't be parked here once the clock strikes midnight. The city changed winter parking hours from 1 to 5 a.m. to midnight to 6 a.m. The restrictions will now go to mid-March. The empty streets will make it easier for snowplows, but not for apartment managers.
We now have to park on the grass in the back, limiting the amount of people that we are allowed to have cars, and it's just a huge inconvenience.
Logan City also cut back on the number of winter parking permits.
Fall is here and the leaves are doing just that, falling. Our Tess Griffith is live on the quad to show you how you can get rid of all the leaves on your lawn. Tess?
Thanks, Claire. Obviously, it's really windy out here, and there are quite a few leaves on the ground. But once you rake them up, where do they go? I tagged along with Logan City this week to see how and why they pick up leaves.
Leaves, leaves, and more leaves. They need a place to go. And this leaf truck is here to solve the problem. Logan City workers start the work of cleaning up the leaves as early as 7 a.m. And with the help from this giant hose, workers say the process is pretty simple.
Got a separate engine for the vacuum, turn it on, it sucks. Simple.
The leaves are sucked up through this tube here and distributed into here, where it acts as a mulcher for the leaves.
So how do you go about getting the leaves off your lawn? The city sends a mail out to Logan residents, telling you to rake your leaves to or near the curb. Then the city will do the rest.
Just get them out to the curb and we'll rake them up.
But the tube can't pick up everything.
The biggest thing is keep branches out of it. Branches are our worst enemy here.
Keep those out of your pile because those will clog up our machine and then just create more time for us.
Dry leaves are easier to clean up. Wet leaves are just more of a hassle, takes more time.
As the chief of Logan City's street and stormwater department, Romney says the daily leaf pickup is more than just cleaning up people's yards.
If we were to have a rain event, even a snow event, anything like that, and these leaves plug up, it can flood houses, it can flood streets, it can flood everything. So it can be pretty damaging if we don't get it off the street.
You can check out our Facebook page for the link to track the progress of the leaf truck. Back to you in the studio, Claire.
That's really cool that they let you come out with them. Thanks, Tess.
If you haven't seen the new house that's shaped like a camel hump, it might be worth a trip to Providence. The Arcadia Dome opened last week. The shape is called the Monolithic Dome. Arcadia Construction says they can survive tornadoes, hurricanes, fires, and even termites. The home uses a concrete shell and layered walls. They claim it uses half as much energy as a traditional building.
It really holds the heat in well because it has a couple inches of concrete and then foam and then concrete again. And so it's one big solid structure and it's super energy efficient.
If you'd like to see the house for yourself, check out our Facebook page.
There's a movie streaming app which allows you to filter TV shows and movies based on your family's values. However, Disney, 20th Century Fox, Warner Brothers, and Lucasfilms are suing that company for violating copyright laws. VidAngel allows you to customize your favorite movie by cutting out content that you might find inappropriate, like crude language, nudity, and violence. Film companies claim this editing service infringes on copyright, but VidAngel says they sell the movies and let customers choose what they want to edit rather than filtering the movies themselves. This lets people watch movies they otherwise wouldn't watch.
Movie producers need to understand that there's people out there that still want to enjoy their films and want to enjoy their work, but can't because of certain maybe religious beliefs or just moral beliefs that they have.
More than 100,000 users downloaded VidAngel, which offers more than 2,000 movies and TV shows.
When we come back, ATV's Ben Nielsen will have your supermoon update and your weather report.
The weather on campus is 51 degrees.
If you store your guns properly, I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
I won't have to tell so many family members. I'm sorry.
I won't hear as many scary stories.
And I won't have to tell my kids. This isn't a drill.
Please.
Please, do it for us.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always, lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest! You still got it. I know. Come alive with the forest. The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Welcome back to ATV News.
So Ben, I heard there was a supermoon last week, but I missed it. Were you able to catch it?
Yeah, I was able to get a good look, and I actually got some good camera footage too. But I'll show you guys over here on the green screen. So you can see right here, I took a quick time lapse of what you could see. And as you can see, it was pretty cloudy. I mean, I couldn't really get a good view of the moon like this. But if you were patient, like I was, and you waited a little while, you could see that the clouds cleared up, and it gave you a pretty good view of the moon. And it was a little bit bigger. It's actually the biggest the moon's been in about 60 years. And it did look a little bit bigger than usual, not that much. And you can see, like I said, it was about 60 years ago that the last moon was, and the next one's not going to be till 2034. But we'll get on to weather now. So you can see here behind me, this is the national radar, and there's not that much precipitation, not as much as usual, at least. Like there's some here, there's some up here, you know. But we'll focus on this spear right here that goes across the nation, and we'll come and take a look at the state radar. So you can see this is the part of that spear. It was actually supposed to be here this afternoon, and it was supposed to snow a little bit, but it got pushed to a little bit later in the day. So tonight, we're going to see a little bit of rain coming in, and then as it gets colder in the night, it's going to start snowing. And I'll show you a little bit on the 7-day forecast whenever it comes up, and here it is. So like I said, tonight we're going to see a little bit of rain, and it's going to start getting really cold. The temperature is going to drop to below freezing tonight, and as you can see, for the next few nights, it's going to be below freezing. So Thursday morning, we're going to see a little bit of snow here, and the weird thing is it's going to warm up again. So we only have had a couple of days, or we're only going to have a couple of days of cold before temperature comes back to normal. So you can see on Friday it'll warm up, and it'll still be 42 degrees, so it's not going to be super warm. You're definitely going to want a jacket still. And then the temperature it'll stay warm, and it'll get a little bit cloudy on Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures will be high of about 47 and 50 degrees, and then they're still going to drop to below freezing for the rest of the night. We might get a little bit of rain on Monday, but there's a very low chance of it. But we'll see when it gets a little closer to Monday how it looks. And then it should start warming up again on Tuesday.
Thanks, Ben.
So a little cold, not a lot. So don't break out the snowboard yet, is what you're saying.
Yeah, not yet. I mean, the resorts are probably not going to be open very soon, and if they are, then there's not going to be very much snow probably. Because yeah, it's only a couple days of cold weather, and then it's going to get a little bit warmer again.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming up, we'll show you how one team on campus is overlooking lack of experience to find success. And New Mexico came to the Maverick Stadium and left with some controversy. I'll show you the highlights.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Welcome back. Utah State has a strong reputation as a basketball school and the Spectrum as a formidable place to play. But when old guys leave and new guys come in, there's always a question of if the reputation will hold. Emily Duke went to find out if the new recruits are living up to the hype.
Basketball is back at the Spectrum. This year, Utah State is only returning 4 players, giving a lot of court time to new faces.
Let all 10 new guys play.
Those players have helped Utah State to a 2-0 start for their regular season.
That's Utah State basketball right there, is balanced scoring, playing together, taking what the game gives you and knocking down open shots.
Even with early success, building on only 4 returning starters has a lot of people on the team trying to figure out their roles. Like this guy. Toby McEwen showed up strong in his first regular season game in the Spectrum, scoring 18 points. But he wasn't the only freshman to make some noise. Sam Merrill came into the game and dropped 3 triple baskets.
They really enjoy playing with each other, and that's fun to see. They complement each other really well.
All of these players may be new to you as fans, but to each other, they're old friends.
We kind of know each other by now.
The team is close, really close.
We just all like each other, so that just makes it easier. We're like brothers, on and off the court.
Get along really well, push each other a lot in practice, but they are extremely close.
And that bond is inspiring them to care more about each other and less about themselves.
I don't think we have anybody on our team that's really selfish, and that's huge for our team to be successful.
Even just 2 games in, success is coming.
They're together, and they're trying to win. There's not really any other agendas out there, and that's fun to see.
Emily Duke, ATV News.
The Aggies took on New Jersey Institute of Technology Monday night in a doubleheader with the women's team, and the two true freshmen shined in their regular season debut. It was close, but USU played a fierce defensive game, as you can see here, as they block the Highlanders. And and here the ball just misses the net to be saved by senior Jalen Moore. The Aggies finished the game with a 94-83 win.
That's Utah State basketball right there, is balanced scoring, playing together, taking what the game gives you and knocking down open shots. And that's we've played that way for a long time around here. That's fun to see.
The men face off against Bristol tonight at 7 in the Spectrum. In women's basketball, the Aggies started off their season with a win for the first time in 3 years. Here, freshman guard Eliza West lays up 2 of her 10 points for the game. The Aggies stayed strong through the second half with plays like this with Shannon Udefasi. Look at her go. The Aggies won with a big 72-49 lead against Westminster.
We were very aggressive. We were just diving on all the loose balls, and I feel like wanted the ball. We just wanted the ball more than the other team.
The Aggies also won 64-56 on Monday against Montana State. Their next game is tomorrow against UC Irvine. The men's lacrosse team traveled to Las Vegas for the MCLA Best of the West tournament. They won all 4 of their games. Their next game is Friday at the University of Utah. On this last Friday, USU hosted the NCAA Mountain Region Cross Country Championships for the first time in 20 years. The women's team finished higher than the polls expected. They were slated to finish 10th, but came in 8th. The Colorado Buffaloes came in 1st. The men also ran a strong race and joined the women in 8th place, with Northern Arizona taking the win. USU junior Dylan Maggard placed 8th individually. He won all region honors, and he'll be the 7th Aggie to head to nationals since 2000.
I feel lucky to have the privilege to go represent Utah State, and I'm really excited. It's kind of what I've been training my whole life for, so it's a dream come true.
Cashley Carter may also head to nationals. She finished 15th individually. The NCAA will release the full selection for next week's national championship on Saturday. The women's volleyball team was on the road this weekend. They lost 0-3 against UNLV on Thursday, but came back on Saturday to beat New Mexico 3-1. They'll close out their 3-match road trip at Fresno State today. And finally, we make it to football. It's not pretty, I'm afraid. Utah State started out the first quarter with 2 touchdowns against New Mexico. Here, Tony Lindsay running in a 13-yard score. Ronquaven Tarver caught this ball and ran it into the end zone from 19 yards out and put the Aggies up 14-0. And they are celebrating. The Lobos struggled to run the ball in the first half here, but they scored in the second quarter with 2 Jason Sanders field goals. In the second half, thanks to 100 yards and this rushing touchdown from Terrion Gibson, the Lobos outscored the Aggies 17-0 over the final 20 minutes of the game. It looked like Utah State had a touchdown on this play, but it was called back on what fans are calling a controversial offensive pass interference after Kent Myers scrambled for 9 yards. Utah State tried for a field goal in the last few seconds, and I'm just going to let us watch this here. Look away, Aggies. This might be tough to watch. Coach Matt Wells had few words to describe the loss.
Well, that's a tough way to lose a ball game.
The ball game is this Saturday at Nevada. Utah State men's rugby team is different. For one thing, it's a club sport, but there's another reason. Our Kaylin Taylor went to their practice to show you what it is.
What you can't tell by watching the Utah State rugby team practice is that over half the team is new.
I think we got 12 new to the team, and 10 of those guys have never played before.
Their reasons for joining the team vary.
Oh, I love playing defense. That's my favorite part of the game. Just being able to go and lay the wood on somebody is always a very satisfying feeling.
I've always done tennis was more of a one-on-one sport, and I really admire rugby because it's more of a team sport.
It's a faster paced game and more diverse. You don't have your set position. Everybody plays every position, so it's kind of fun.
Unlike with soccer, football, baseball, and basketball, which you've probably at least seen before, the coaches say
some of these kids have never even seen it on TV before. So just to show them how it works is rough. That's probably the biggest wall they have to overcome.
Even though
they all have basically a 0 rugby IQ,
the team is improving thanks to practicing passing, sprints, and formations.
It was a little different at first, but the team and the coach has been really good about helping us adjust. I feel more comfortable with it now.
We've definitely gotten a whole lot more rugby savvy, and our rugby IQ has definitely grown.
The coaches are impressed as well.
Yeah, 80-minute matches for some of them, and they've never played before, so they're fighting through it, and I'm proud of what they're showing me.
Kaylin Taylor, ATV News.
Utah State won its final game of the season on Saturday, and coaches are expecting big improvements in the spring season.
Thank you, Amy. They were able to pick that game up really quick. I don't think I would be able to do that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about rugby to be able to play it well enough.
Right? I've watched rugby multiple times, and I still have no idea how to play. Like, no idea at all.
You can still watch.
Cool, though. I want to learn it. Yeah. I've always wanted to learn. When we come back, we'll show you which pro sports team is breaking ground here in Cache Valley.
Self-driving cars are the vehicle of the future, but are they doing more harm than good?
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back. Real Salt Lake broke ground for a new soccer training center here in North Logan, and it's all about the kids. Gold-painted shovels and a pile of loose dirt set the scene as community members and Real Salt Lake members met in North Logan on Monday. They broke ground for a new soccer training center in hopes of developing youth soccer talent in Utah. The crowd heard from the mayor of North Logan, Luke Mulhand of Real Salt Lake, and the owner of RSL, Deloy Hansen, who talked about the future of the organization and facility.
We've set the goal to have the best youth training organization in the United States, and we're not going to stop till we get there.
Real Salt Lake says the facility will be open next August.
Self-driving cars are the vehicle of the future, but are they doing more harm than good?
They are the vehicles of tomorrow, designed to make every driver a passenger. But what do these autonomous vehicles mean for us?
We could get rid of traffic lights, we could have intersections without lights, we could have all sorts of things that seem to us, of course, extremely dangerous.
Being able to predict that future, I think, is very difficult.
While the future implications of self-driving cars might be unknown, one thing that is clear, special effects aside, is that as humans, we're not doing too well by ourselves.
93% of crashes are due to human error. They looked at their phone, or they reached down in their car, or they got in their vehicle when they'd been up all night.
And adding this technology could be the answer to saving lives.
We look at advancements in cars that have come up to this point. The addition of seatbelts, the addition of airbags, that's all contributed to saving lives. And every time engineering in cars gets better, lives are saved.
To me, the question really is just can we get the self-driving cars to be better drivers than human drivers? And I think there's enormous promise there.
Promise that the positive will outweigh the negative.
I think any new technology is going to have obstacles, hurdles,